Wigan, interesting game, local derby, very, very important game for Wigan. Not that it isn't for Bolton as well.
No, it's an important game for us. I think it's an important game for our supporters. I think if we win the game, then we'll more or less consolidate our position in the Championship next season. So if we lose, we still have a 7-point gap, but that wouldn't be the ideal scenario. Our away form's not great. Recent away form's pretty poor actually. Their home form, Wigan's home form's not great either, so something's going to give tomorrow. It's got draw written all over it, but you can never tell. Form goes out the window in derbies. And I would like us to play as well as you did at Ipswich on Tuesday, and if we can do that, then I think we've got a good chance of winning, because some of our football was great and the chances we created were fantastic, and I think we deserve better out of the game. Now, we're not getting luck, but sometimes in football you have to make your luck, and hopefully we can do that tomorrow.
Is it any different at this time of the season? I mean, you mentioned the word consolidation there. You've got some big decisions to make, lots of players out of contract. Are you making a continual assessment of what might be needed for next season already?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say that. I've got an idea on who I would like, in terms of players out of contract to stay. We have had talks with players already, but I can't really guarantee anything until we make sure we're in the Championship, and then I can go to the chairman and we can sit down and discuss what budget we have going forward for next year. But yeah, I mean, we are weighing up options in terms of wanting to bring players in. I think we need to balance the squad a little bit better. Our lack of fullbacks is certainly an issue that we need to address going forward. We were top heavy in midfield for a long time throughout the season. And there's one thing that you can't foresee is the amount of injuries we've had. So what we're looking for maybe is a durability about the players we bring in. Hopefully they'll have a decent playing record and they can carry that on if and when we bring them here.
What type of players, not necessarily what position they play in, but what type of players are you attracted to? What are the attributes you look? Do you look at characters as well with ability?
Yes, character, it's a big thing for me. And not just, I want to see, when I go to a game, if a team is losing, how that player reacts. Does he pick the team by the scruff of the neck, even at 2-3-0 down? Has he still got the enthusiasm to keep going? It tells me a lot about a player. You learn more about them in defeat, really, than you do in the win. Stamina, enthusiasm for the game, pace, and quality at the end. So what kind of, your fullbacks are important players in the modern game. I would like them to handle the ball well, get up and down, but some of those cost a lot of money. So we have to try and be a little bit more imaginative. If we haven't got the money, then are there little nuggets out there? We feel like we found another one in Regina.
He was terrific, by the way, in the first half.
Wasn't he?
Particular. He was a breath of fresh air, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, you're looking at him and Clough, and you're thinking, we've got Isaac Clough, and without heaping too much pressure on him, would you want to build a team around someone of that quality? Yes, you would. So, there's your starting point. I've got some good players here, but they need some help, going forward. And I want it to be a better season than this year. But first and foremost, I need to get through the Wigan game. Try and win the game, and then I think that would be more or less guaranteed our safety.
Can I ask you a question about Jermaine Beckford, who's still technically, contracted to Bolton Wanderers on loan at Preston, because there was some news emerged, I think, in the last couple of days that he almost, at one point, considering retiring because of, I think it was an eye infection.
Well, I'm glad he didn't. I only worked with him for a short period of time. Good pro, decent personality, but he didn't deliver. So Simon knew him well. He'd worked with him twice at Leeds and Huddersfield, and we felt it would probably be a bit more beneficial for him to go out and play on a regular basis, and that's proved to be the case. Don't like to hear stories like that, because he's still a young man, and I always say to players, play as long as you can, because they are the best days of your life, so I'm glad he's got through that, and you wouldn't wish that on any young player. A young player, I mean, he's probably 30 now, Jermaine, but he's still young to me.
Was it a case with Rashina just making sure he's ready to play at the right time, really, for yourselves?
Yeah, because looking at him, he's very diminutive, and we didn't want to throw him into the lens then more or less straight away. Plus, he had to get used to the culture of the game, the pace of the game. So he's had a few games now, and we watched him in a bounce game a week or two ago against Burnley, and he was excellent. And we felt, yeah, he's ready to play. So I wanted to get through the Millwall game. Ipswich was a difficult game on paper, but I felt it would just the timing was right for him, and he's gone out and proved that. He ran out of steam in the end because that was his first senior game, and you have the adrenaline, you've all that tension in your body, but it didn't faze him, and I thought he made us, like Jack said, he gives an extra dimension to our play. And on another night, he would have scored.
Yep.
Another night, we'd have slipped a couple of players in. But our attacking play was there was a lot more variation to our play with him in the team.
Yeah, you can take a lot of positives from that Ipswich game, can't you? It must be in one way very frustrating that you've got a lot of positives out of the games that you haven't won, and you come out with nothing from them.
It was, yeah, we were the better team. Defensively, we looked very good. David was more like himself. That pleased me. Tim Ream was excellent again. We looked pretty strong in midfield. Trotter and Cook did a good job there for us. And the two wing backs, I've got two young players in Vela and Walker, who are going to do this club, a good service. Walker has emerged as a real talent, really composed on the ball, can go by a player, can see a pass, and at 19, he's got a great future in the game. And Josh has been, playing pretty consistently since he broke in. And then you had Regina do that. Craig Davis is back fit now. Should have scored, but Craig does things for the team that eases the pressure, particularly away from home. So it's good having him back as well. So whilst we lost, and whilst I was angry after the game, and you understand my frustration with that,
correct,
there was a lot of positives to come from the game as well.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of longevity in these players coming through with the youngsters. I mean, that's surely good for the club, isn't it? Looking forward to the long-term future of the club, I think.
No question. I think it's really important that we do blood our own. I think it's important for the supporters to see their own players coming through, and I think this season, with the likes of Walker, Vela, Clough, they're not just making up the numbers; they're actually quality players, and eventually, if and when we make the Premier League, you'd like to think they'll progress through that. If not, then there may be suitors out there that'll pay decent money for them. Now, that's the last doomsday scenario, is that we're going to work with these players and make them better. But it's very, very. I think it's been a real highlight of our season, seeing these young players come through. Clough, I think, has been a revelation, really. He's one of the best young players around at the minute.
Has that been the sort of nice surprise for you coming into this job, seeing these youngsters maybe that you didn't expect to come through so quickly, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the emergence of the three of them has certainly boosted me. It's pleased me, and not only like their talent, their character. They're actually going out there and they are making a difference. They're actually making us better, which is fantastic for me.
Yeah. Just a word on Wigan. Are you surprised by their position in the league and their season so far?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, because I thought they'd be thereabouts. Under Rive, they were quite strong last year. I don't know what's gone wrong this year. It may be the Premier League hangover, which I know all about. With my experiences here. Malky is tried and tested at this level. He's been getting results here and there. The home form has been disappointing, obviously, but he will see it out to the end, and I wouldn't write Wigan off just yet. But we have our own agenda. I want to win the game and ease all our worries, as it were, if we have any at all, and get an away win, which I think it's about time coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a word on injuries. How was everyone looking? Adam Lafondra was a bit ill last day against
Ipswich, he was. Yeah, he went down with virus. He trained yesterday. Janko trained yesterday. Heskey trained yesterday. So they'll all be fit for tomorrow. Bogdan's fit. Obviously, he's in the squad now. Mark Davis will be out on the grass next week, which will be great to see, because we missed him. The longer term ones are still, Pratley, Clayton, Clough. Those two latter ones will be out for the season. Pratley and Wheater we're not sure on. We may see them before the end of the season, but I doubt it very much.